And this was written by Andy Merriam on the occasion of Frederick Thomas Duncan's 80th birthday. And
So
this could be of considerable interest to a number of people here. And this is, while the year 1934, I guess that's 51 years ago, eh? As a matter of fact, it's 52 years ago, because while the year 1934 is still very young, Grandpa Duncan.
we're not going to compete with some toy now, are we?
No.
You want to hear this?
Yeah.
Do you?
You better put it on stop for a second so the late man.
Yeah, put it on hold. Hold, time. Oh, so we got 1934. It's very early in the year. That's 52 years ago.
Why don't you have the record button on?
Grandpa Duncan sits in his easy chair, smokes his cherry stovepipe, or one of his favorite brand of cigarettes, and thinks back over the past 80 years. So that's 80 years from 52 years ago. The current topics of depression, disarmament, and Roosevelt do not interest him as much as talking over the olden days. And so we gather bits of the family history, gradually piecing them together until we find that Thomas Duncan, Donald McDonald Duncan, who was our grandfather's father, my grandfather's, your great-grandfather's, his great-great-grandfather's father, was born in Renfrew, Scotland, in the year 1812, 3 years before the Battle of Waterloo. His father, Thomas Duncan, was an officer in the Scottish regiment in that historic battle. Now, I have the sword he carried in that battle. And it's been handed down from Senior Duncan to Senior Duncan, all those generations.
Yeah, now that you've gone Christian, I don't get it.
Eh? Well, that just might be so, Gil.
That's right. See, I had my eye on that. Damn Jew. That's all lined up.
Well, at the close of the war,
Gil, if you
He
give it
may
to Gil,
he may fall off the wagon.
That's right, Dad. Hang on to a while. I get another crack at this.
Gil would only kill himself with it anyway.
at the close of the war, in which the Battle of Waterloo was the climacteric.
The what?
The climacteric. The troops were disbanded, and many were sent to Canada as settlers. The troop, of which Thomas Duncan was a member, settled in Glengarry County, Ontario. This was the birth of the old homestead.
Where's Glengarry?
That's
Glengarry Township.
Yes, it's not far from Ottawa. It's south of Ottawa. It's a little north of, it's south of Kentville, too. So along comes Duncan.
Well, it's south of
Prescott.
It's an
north.
island.
It's in the U.S.
It's between Prescott and Kentville. Okay, you're going to find Kentville in here because that's where my grandfather was born. Anyway, Donald McDonald Duncan. Donald grew up in Glengarry and chose the hotel business as his career. About the year 1837, the Bytown and Prescott Railway was built, and Donald had the foresight to construct an hotel in Prescott.
Okay,
Preparing-
Dad, just a second here.
What's the trouble?
We got to stop for a second.
Another angle here.
Go ahead.
Okay.
But can you get that gun?
Donald had the foresight. That's Kelly.
Okay, Kelly, we can't. We're taping something here.
Okay, you go get it and take it, but you can't bring it in here.
Boy, if only Donald McDonald or Thomas Duncan
See what he did.
or even Frederick Thomas Duncan
Yeah.
could foresee this. Anyway, Donald had the foresight to construct an hotel in Prescott, preparing for the travelers who would surely come. It was probably while building this hotel that he met Dora Bennett, for the Bennetts, who were from Cork, Ireland, had settled in that district. Donald and Dora were married on May the 13th. Ah, yourself.
I got that too.
Kelly.
Hey, you better close it off for a second. Oh, my.
She hit him.
No, she didn't.
Yes,
Everything's
she did.
fine.
I could tell.
She bite it?
No.
Did she hit you? Yeah.
Go hit her back.
Okay.
Older women are terrible, Timmy.
Anyway, Donald and Dora were married on May the 13th, 1839. And there were born 10 children, of which Fred T.
Kelly, give them.
You're not listening.
I are listening.
No, you aren't. You listen.
We guys,
There were born 10 children, of whom Frederick T. was the youngest to survive. Our knowledge of these children is as follows. Now, I'm not going to lead you through that, because I'll take you through Martha, Isabella, or Bella. And there are pictures of them here. You know, your Auntie Marion did an absolutely wonderful job. Here are all the pictures of the various cows. There's A.B., there's Fred T. Until I get you all the way through all of them. Oh, there's
Kid.
one or two I should mention, but they'll come back later. Until I get to Fred. Frederick Thomas Duncan, my grandfather, was born on April the 2nd, 1854 in Kempville. Are you listening, Libby?
I'm hanging on every
Ontario. Where and here's a picture of his home. His father was operating an hotel. A picture of this building, taken recently, is in this book. Shortly afterwards, the family moved to Rossiter House, an hotel about 16 miles out of Ottawa. There, Fred spent his early years with his mother. In the meantime, his father, Donald, was operating another hotel in the city of Ottawa. After about 2 years at Rossiter House, the family moved into the Crown Hotel in Ottawa. Grandpa says he can remember that 16-mile journey into the city. It took half a day driving in a hay cart.
oh, God.
The Crown Hotel became known as the Duncan House, and it was for...
My glass.
What do you mean?
Keep going, just keep going.
It's upstairs, Jen.
Well, anyway, the Duncan House was a stopping place for traveling circuses,
Not there either.
which provided
Where?
much excitement for Fred and his playmates. The Duncan House stood on Rideau Street, Ottawa, facing and directly opposite Nicholas Street.
God, did we lose some good land there?
But the building has long since disappeared and is now replaced by stores. After the Duncans had been living in Ottawa for about 7 years, and when Fred was about 10 years of age, his father, Donald, died at the age of 52.
You should go back and look in the
Is-
archives to see if they have any pictures of that hotel.
Yeah,
I
they
got
would.
one.
Yeah?
His mother died at Ottawa also when 57 years of age, in the year 1873. At the age of 13, Fred started to work. His first job was in James and Fee dry goods store as a parcel boy. Later, he was promoted to cashier. When Fred was 16 years old, he was introduced into the business which later became his life work. This was the sewing machine business. You're a bit of a competition, old boy. Hurrah.